Jay-Z and his high-profile lawyers feel like they can get away with anything. Well, the judge just completely laid down the law and put them in their place. Ignore, and I have an update for you regarding Jay-Z and his lawsuit with the Jane Doe, and my goodness, the lawyer just slammed him. I mean, the lawyer seems furious. You gotta understand, this lawyer, Alex Spiro, is insanely expensive and has been putting a full court press out to cause doubt. And honestly, I think they did a pretty damn good job at doing so. It even made me wonder.
The seriousness of the accusations and the contentious nature of the events in the case involving Jay-Z's attorney allegedly bribing a judge have garnered a lot of attention. Let's examine what has been going on and why it has become such a hot topic in the media.
Since Carter's attorneys first appeared in this case 17 days ago, he has submitted a litany of letters and motions attempting to impugn the character of plaintiff's lawyer, Tony Busby, many of them expounding on the purported urgency of this case. Self-promoting, accused him of extortion, request to be heard on an expedited basis, accusing plaintiff's counsel of exploiting the legal process to generate media attention, asserting that plaintiff's counsel seeks only to benefit himself, requesting the shortening of a deadline from 21 days to 1 day, describing plaintiff's counsel as willing to blatantly violate the core ethical obligations of all attorneys, and requesting a hearing on a motion the following day. This is now, again, remember, this is the judge writing. Carter's lawyers' relentless filing of combative motions containing inflammatory language and ad hominem attacks is inappropriate. It's a waste of judicial resources and a tactic unlikely to benefit his client. Ouch! The court will not fast-track the judicial process merely because counsel demands it. I mean, thank you. Thank you. Alex's attempts out there are aggressive, and I think from the press release standpoint and the facts and all those things, it asks questions. But my gosh, the self-importance, right, of this Jay-Z and his team, they're above the law, is insane. The entitlement is off the charts. Let's continue. Moreover, although Carter's attorney assails plaintiff's lawyer as having a chronic inability to follow the rules, Carter's counsel has failed to abide by this court's clear rules. Under the court's individual practice of civil courts, with limited exception, a pre-motion letter is required prior to the filing of any motion. Although Carter's attorney stated that he intended to file immediately a motion to strike the first amended complaint, he did not give plaintiff the requisite 5 business days to respond, wait for the court to set a motion schedule, or state whether any exceptions to the court's individual practices applied. This is unacceptable. Counsel is hereby advised that any further motions filed in violation of the court's individual practices may be denied on that ground alone. So now he's basically saying, you've now run out of excuses. Enough, done. Stop with these crazy PR motions, etc., that you're putting out there, because I'm not even gonna read it. It's gonna, if you don't follow the actual rules and stop saying Busby's not following the rules. Turns out Spiro is not following the rules, and if he continues to do so, whatever that motion is will just be rejected because he's not following the rules, regardless of what the motion is. That's a huge warning from the judge to shape up or else. Lastly, although Carter's attorney is entitled to file a Rule 11 motion without first seeking leave of court, the court discourages this approach. If he still intends to serve plaintiff with a motion for sanctions, the court denies his request to shorten the safe harbor provision contained within Rule 11 from 21 days to 1. Carter's motion to strike the amended complaint is denied. By January 10th, plaintiff shall file her response to Carter's motion for an order directing the preservation of evidence. By January 17th, Carter shall file his reply. Court clerk is respectfully directed to terminate the motions, blah, 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 blah. So ordered. So all of it thrown out. Everything Alex Spiro said it was going to happen. It's going to get thrown out. It didn't happen. I think I still have, do I have he was here. It was, I lost my button. Where's my button? Here it is. That's because this never happened. Well, he keeps saying...
The story begins with a court scolding Alex Spiro, Jay-Z's lawyer, for using offensive words and unsuitable strategies. Judge Ana Oras, who is in charge of the case, expressed disgust with Spiro's approach and called his behavior a waste of court resources. This criticism stemmed from a well-known lawsuit in which a woman, identified only as Jane Doe, accused Jay-Z and Sean Diddy Combs of giving her a raw asterisk when she was just 13 years old. The alleged incident reportedly occurred following the 2000 MTV Video Music Awards. Both Diddy and Jay-Z have vehemently denied the allegations.
He's upset. He's upset that somebody would be allowed to do this. that would make a mockery of the system like this. He's upset that this distracts and dissuades real victims from coming forward. He's upset that his kids and his family have to deal with this. He's upset, and he should be upset.
Will Mr. Carter say anything more specifically about Mr. Combs? He didn't really address him in his statement, but anything since outlets and internet speculation have tried to affiliate the two of them, he didn't really, in his statement, specifically say anything about any of the allegations.
I mean, Mr. Carter has nothing to do with Mr. Combs' case or Mr. Combs. They knew each other professionally for a number of years, just like in all professions. People know each other. At the music awards, they support each other. If you go to the NBA All-Star game, they support each other. That's just how professions work. There is no closer association between any of them. That's also a matter of fiction. That's all that there is. He doesn't know anything about the charges or allegations against him. He has nothing to do with that case.
In addition, Shah is now embroiled in a number of legal disputes involving claims of Shah trafficking and Shah trafficking abuse. Numerous of these claims, brought by well-known Texas attorney Tony Busby, allege that plaintiffs were drugged and mistreated at parties in New York, California, and Florida. More than 150 people, including both men and women, are represented by Busby in litigation against Combs. Despite the seriousness of the litigation, Combs' legal team has described them as shameless publicity gimmicks and accused Busby of using them to coerce famous people into making settlements.
Let's talk about it. All right, so the biggest story around the world seems to be Jay-Z being attacked in the elevator by Beyonce's sister Solange. It's leading on all the newscasts. Of course, it's a hot topic here, but it's amazing how the world has let go of everything else important and is talking about this. She is kicking his behind. And the security guard's trying to hold her back. Beyonce's next to Jay-Z in the corner. And I know you've seen this footage before, and you know that Beyonce waited a long time before she stepped in between them. Yes, she almost kicked him in his area, but he caught it. This was at, as you might know by now, the after party to the Met Gala. It was at a place here in Manhattan called the Standard Hotel. The hotel is upset because the footage even got out, because this is supposed to be a place that caters to celebrities. But who falls for that? You know, of course, this footage probably made somebody rich. The only thing that would make somebody richer is the person who's got the audio. Okay, so now, you know, I will just say that people have been speculating and saying, well, why didn't Beyonce get in the middle? In my mind, Beyonce didn't get in the middle because Solange was probably attacking him over something that he knows he was dead wrong about, and therefore, sister didn't get in the middle. And a lot of people are also saying, well, Jay-Z really held his head because, you know, real men don't hit girls, except there's some footage online of Jay-Z hitting a female fan back in the day. Allegedly. The legal team is up there going crazy with the alleged button. The video, everyone, is 3 minutes and 27 seconds. So if you'd like to see the whole video, you can do that on your time. But the bodyguard to Beyonce stopped the elevator in the middle of, you know, going down. They were exiting the party, so they were on their way out to the paparazzi to get in the car and stuff. So stopped the elevator, and the fight went on. And I guess the security guard, by not just... Look, Beyonce and the security guard were standing there like this is nothing new between Solange and Jay-Z. You know, it didn't look like something new. I mean, otherwise, wouldn't you have jumped in the way and stopped it if you were Beyonce? If this was something new, she just stood there in a very delicate dress. I mean, if she did much more, a boob would pop out, because, you know, she was wearing that very revealing dress. All right, so here's what I have. Solange's purse. You know, you see there at one point, by the way, at one point, I think I even see Solange spitting on him. You know what I mean? Solange's purse right there is a 1.1 pound Anna Heinmark metal bag. So it could have definitely done some damage if she connected with his face. In addition, people are saying that inside of this after party to the Met, that Solange got into some sort of argument with the fashion designer Rachel Roy.
To a new twist in a high-profile lawsuit accusing rapper Jay-Z of raping a 13-year-old girl in 2000, alongside Shan Diddy Holmes. The lawsuit, originally filed in October, was refiled today to include Jay-Z as a defendant. The anonymous accuser claims the assault occurred at an MTV Video Music Awards after-party. Jay-Z has denied the allegations in a statement on Roc Nation's Instagram, calling the accusations heinous and urging a criminal complaint to be filed instead of a civil one. He also criticized the attorney behind the lawsuit, Tony Busby, accusing him of exploiting the case for personal gain. The courtroom buzzed with tension as Jay-Z, the iconic hip-hop mogul turned business tycoon, sat in his sleek suit, his usually calm demeanor betraying signs of agitation. This wasn't just another legal battle for him. It was a fight for his freedom and his legacy. The accusations against him were as shocking as they were severe. Jay-Z, or Sean Carter as his legal name reads, faced allegations of assaulting a 13-year-old girl at an MTV after-party in 2000. To make matters worse, the case was tied to another industry heavyweight, Shan Diddy Holmes, who was also accused of assault at the same event.
Now, Rachel Roy used to be an intern at the Rock or whatever, back in the day. And that is when, look, I'm sorry, I gotta say something when I get in the purple chair, so I'm talking. Now look. Back in the day, those offices were Dame Dash and Jay-Z. This is going back to my radio days, you all. Come on, rock with me. There were pretty girls and models walking all around there, posing as interns and secretaries. And it's also was known, I'll say alleged, for the legal team, that Dame and Jay-Z would pass girls around up there. Rachel, were you one of those girls? Come here, Suzanne. I want to give you an example of why it might have been that Solange came out of her face at Rachel in the party in front of other people. Because Jay probably did some stupid slick man mess walking with his wife like this. Oh, how I'm doing? No, but you know what I mean? Like, do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I can't figure out how it is that Beyonce did not get involved with this unless something happened to that party that Beyonce knows that Solange was right and Solange is just sick and tired of it. And she probably went over to his face during the party and said something slick like, you know what? You're not gonna do this with my sister right here. You're not gonna do this with my sister right here, right? And then the three of them left the party, and as soon as the elevator door closed, there's 3 minutes and 27 seconds of beatdown. You know, and then Dame Dash went on and married Rachel. So therefore, you know, when Rockefeller, whatever split up, Jay-Z's parting shot could have probably been something like, and I had your wife. Listen, this is a disgusting business. That's all I'm gonna say. This business is so disgusting that I can't. And people were accusing, you know, saying, well, maybe Solange was drunk and therefore went out. But when we show her walking out of the place, she doesn't look drunk. Roll that footage. She doesn't, let's just watch this together, okay? There's the security guard. She doesn't look drunk. She's not teetering on her heels. Her hair is laid. Shout out to her hairstylist. Now watch this. He's not allowed to get in the car, and Beyonce gives a smile and gets in the car with her sister. Now, you can ride with whatever theory that you have about this, but I'm sticking with the Wendy theory. I'm sorry. By the way, everybody needs a sister or cousin or something like that in a Solange. So, you know, Solange, you know, good for you and good for your earlobes too, girl. Yeah, both earrings. You still look put together. But you don't mess with Solange when it comes to Beyonce. You know that, or when it comes to her mom. The word on the street has always been that when Matthew came home with the mistress and was pregnant with the little half-brother Nixon, that Solange took it to her father too. You know, you just don't mess with Solange. And I'm trying to think of what in the hell a sister is getting in the way of her married sister, because like you're married.
Courtroom proceedings had already been making headlines for weeks, with every twist and turn dissected by media outlets and fans alike. But today was different. Jay-Z, who had long been known for his cool-headedness in the face of controversy, seemed visibly shaken. His team of high-powered attorneys, led by the aggressive Alex Sparrow, had failed to secure a dismissal of the case. Without it, the judge's decision not only kept the allegations alive, but also delivered a scathing rebuke of Jay's legal tactics.
In real time, did you know anything about the tension between Dipset and Jay?
Yeah, you're kidding? I was refereeing it. I was refereeing it. I was trying to keep everybody cool. So I had to tell Jay, like, yo, why you keep fucking with him? He's young, like, what's the problem? So Jay would be, all right, cool. And then go on the radio and say, yeah, Cam is a good earner. And then Cam would be like, why you gotta call me an earner? You know what I'm saying? I don't know why he called you an earner. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't get it, you know? So
crazy.
I don't know why Jay always had a thing with Cam. He always had a thing like that. He had a thing with everybody, bro. Pause.
And that H to the Izzo beat was supposed to be Cam's, right?
I didn't know that was the case, because I know, I remember that, but maybe. I don't see Kanye. Kanye wasn't just giving shit, like, the beats that Cam got, like, oh boy, he took that shit. It wasn't like it was given to him. It was just like, oh, this is here, I'm taking this. And I wasn't even mad at it, because it was acting funny. You know, I produced Kanye's first record that was on the radio. We Are the Champions on my album, The Dream Team. So I produced that with Kanye. And the reason why he got that beat was because I gave it the sample to Just Blaze to flip, and he would disrespecting me and just ignoring me. And Kanye was like, I'll do it. And then when he did it, I said, because you did it, jump on it, pull. And then Cam jumped on it and you know, fucking Beanie, it was dope. I think young Chris.
What was the deal with Kanye? Like, why wasn't anybody supporting him as a rapper outside of you?
Because he, you know, like, we looked at him, like, I never looked at Kanye as a rapper. And Kanye always looked at himself, which is not a bad thing, but, you know, he always thought he was bigger than everyone else thought he was until he got there. So no one really took him serious as a rapper. And again, I took him serious as someone that can do an album, make beats, and at least everybody from Rockefeller could jump on the album. So you're gonna get Jay, you're gonna get Cam, all of that. Everyone he made a beat for should do a record for him. But I never looked at him as a rapper. And then when he started rapping, after he broke his jaw, that's when it was like, damn, he's the best producer that could rap. Like how Dre could rap. Like, you don't look at Dr. Dre as a rapper, you look at him as a producer. Me knowing.
And a lot of people at that time felt the same way, honestly. If you know, you know. But, you know, a lot of people didn't want to give Kanye no chance because they felt the same way Dame felt, you know, until Kanye West had to prove himself. So, you know, and Kanye West has always been one of my top artists. You know, so I can attest to a lot of that he's saying, just knowing the history. Kanye,
it'll be like Just Blaze starting to rap. I knew them first as producers. It's really hard for me to unsee people the way I first saw them.
Facts.
That's why I like certain people, no matter what they do, how much money they make, I still see them as that same person. And that could be the default.
First impression.
But it's hard to like unsee what you first saw.
That's that first impression.
Judge Analyzer at TES wasn't holding back. She strongly said that the constant filing of hostile motions with inflammatory language and ad hominem assaults is improper, a waste of court resources, and a strategy that is unlikely to help the defendant. Her remarks were like a punch to Jay-Z's legal team, as well as to the man himself. For someone who had built an empire on strategic choices and deliberate movements, this was an unavoidable setback.
The reason why, if you look at the movie, the reason why he was like, the contracts took so long is because Jay would not sign off on them. So that was the problem. But again, if I were to tell Kanye, yo, Jay won't sign off on your, then he would have like jumped off the, he would have took it too hard. So I could never really say when, it was always me like having to be like, make excuses because things had to move slower because we always had to wait for Homeboy to give his one signature because he always knew that Biggs is gonna rock out with me. So He just would torture us to get shit done if it wasn't about him. Now his budgets, they got signed off on very fast. And to be honest, there was a time like I had took Kanye's chain off his neck because he was driving me nuts. So when that had happened, he was already like, I had dropped Kanye from Rockefeller. I dropped Kanye. So at that point, I was done with him. I was ready to go do my own thing. I gave people out of respect the opportunity, like, yo, there's Dame Dash, I forgot what the name of the record is, Dash Records, whatever. So I was like, y'all can go over there if they won't with you. But like, really, I'm done with this music shit. Like, I was done. I was burnt out. Everybody was corny to me. Everybody was weird to me. Everybody was manipulative and exploitive. And it just smelled like bad breath. And it still does. Like you walk into a room and you just, I just got sick of smelling hot paws, bad stink demon breath.
Crazy.
I didn't want to smell that no more. I didn't want to be around it. I was done. Like I was done, man. I just done it for 15 years. So I didn't want to do that shit no more. I wanted to do fashion.
The industry is
So how did I
crazy.
feel? I didn't feel, I wasn't even thinking about it. I just was like, let me go get this Rachel Roy off the ground and turn that into a $100 million company, which I did, that nobody talks about.
What made you take his chain?
Because two things. Beans was getting ready. We thought he was going to go to jail for a couple of years. He was on trial. So I was trying to make 4 albums for him, or 5, so that if he went to jail, because every time if you sold 500,000 records, I could give you $1 million advance. So if I already have 5 albums that each went gold, while he was in jail, I could always make sure he had 500 grand. So I was just trying to get it all
That's
done.
tough. That's what's
And
up.
Kanye wouldn't give him any beats. That was one reason. And the other reason why is I had spent like $500,000 to $600,000 with Rockware's money developing his line, Pastel. I still got the samples. And all of a sudden he was like, I don't like him no more. And he was just starting to Kanye out. And that was it. I was done. So I was like, man, you got to get out. You know, I was tight.
Kanye out.
So I had the chain, you know what I mean? And people, my inner crew talks about that. Like, damn, you dropped Kanye. I'm like, I don't give a